If I may, I'd like to offer you a copy of our brand new journal, which has just come off the presses today after much hard work. It's called Il Conciliatore.
Travellers, welcome to Milan. But this isn't just any old Milan. This is Stendhal's Milan. In this podcast, we'll discover the city through the eyes of a special visitor, the writer Marie-Honorée Belle, better known as Stendhal. For him, this city was a second home. He first arrived with Napoleon's army and returned to live here after the emperor's defeat, between 1814 and 1821. Who could be a better guide as we explore the city as it used to be, how it is now, and how it has evolved through time? So, let's don on our Empire-style tailcoats and take in a little romantic spirit. Off we go! In this episode, Stendhal crosses paths with a patriotic intellectual in one of Milan's grand palaces. This literary figure played an important role in the Risorgimento, the movement for Italian unification and independence, and spent many years in prison paying the price for his ideals. It is the year 1818, when Stendhal first meets the courageous Matilde Viscontini Dembowski. With Milan back under Austrian rule, Stendhal is building a network of connections in the city's most prestigious salons. These gatherings are places of entertainment, of course, but above all, they are hubs of debate and cultural exchange. In these salons, safely out of earshot of the Austrian authorities, ideas of freedom and independence begin to circulate, ideas destined to light the powder keg of Italy's Risorgimento. It's a warm September morning. Stendhal is leaving, right on schedule, from the Albergo Bella Venezia in Piazza San Fedele, where he's been staying for some time.
Good to see you, mes amis. I don't wish to appear rude, but I can't stay with you for long this morning. I'm expected at Palazzo Porro Lambertenghi, number 15, Via Monte di Pietà, residence of the illustrious Marquis Luigi Porro Lambertenghi, who hosts one of the most influential salons in all Milan. I'll take this street here towards Piazza della Scala, then.
Our friend Stendhal seems rather tense. Best leave him to his walk for now. Let's see who else is out and about this morning. Ah, lucky us. Right over there is another intriguing figure who might keep us company. None other than Silvio Pellico. Born in Saluzzo, Pellico arrived in Milan with his family in 1809. Like many intellectuals of the time, he is a member of the secret societies of the Federati and the Carbonari, organizations determined to undermine Austrian power in the name of Italian independence. Unfortunately, it doesn't go well for him. Arrested in 1820, Pellico was imprisoned in the infamous Spielberg fortress in Moravia, where the Austrian authorities held political prisoners under harsh and cruel conditions. Based on that painful decade-long experience, Pellico produced a masterpiece, Le mie prigioni, My Prisons, a memoir published following his release in 1832 that became a literary sensation across Europe. But why is Pellico on Via Santa Margherita, not far from the Teatro alla Scala? Perhaps he too has an appointment.
This morning I practically flew to the presses of the publisher Vincenzo Ferrario. A man of extraordinary skill and sharp intellect, he is a common acquaintance among many gentlemen in our circle of romantics. Perhaps you're familiar with Alessandro Manzoni, Hermes Visconti, or Carlo Porta. Calling Ferrario merely a printer would be an understatement. He's a true intellectual, and a translator as well. I have personally entrusted an important task to him, a project especially dear to my heart. The printing of a new literary and scientific journal. I've called it Il Conciliatore, the Conciliator. Very soon I'll have the very first copy in my hands.
The first issue of Il Conciliatore appeared on the 3rd of September in 1818, thanks to the financial support of Luigi Porro Lambertenghi and Federico Confalonieri. Printed twice a week on its characteristic blue paper, this periodical featured articles on literature, economics, politics, science, and social issues, becoming one of the most open-minded and innovative voices in Italian culture. From the start, its contributors included prominent intellectuals of the day, such as Pellico himself, Gian Domenico Romagnosi, Piero Maroncelli, Giovanni Berchet, Melchiorre Gioia, and many others. Needless to say, the journal had a short life. By 1819, it had attracted the suspicious eyes of the Austrian censors, who ordered Pellico to cease publishing any political-oriented articles. Refusing to bow to this unjust restriction, Pellico provocatively chose instead to shut down Il Conciliatore forever. Nevertheless, a decisive blow had been struck against Vienna's authority, thanks in part to those pages of blue paper. The Risorgimento had drawn a little closer. Having picked up the very first copy of his new journal, Pellico strides eagerly towards Via Monte di Pietà, impatient to share the fruits of their combined intellectual labour with Marquis Porro Lambertenghi and his companions. After passing the Teatro alla Scala, he ought to turn left into the first street, but Pellico, absorbed in his own thoughts, continues straight ahead, towards what in 1875 would be renamed Via Manzoni, but in 1818 was still known as Corsia del Giardino in the first part and Corso di Porta Nuova further along.
Too many thoughts weighing on my mind have made me lose my way. But what's the rush after all? I'll carry on to the arches at Porta Nuova and then retrace my steps from there. It will be a good opportunity to toss my worries into the canal.
Pellico's short detour gives us 21st century travellers the chance to walk along one of the most elegant streets in Milan's city centre. He couldn't possibly know it then, but over the years this street would become a showcase of buildings from different eras and styles. Starting at Teatro alla Scala, the first to be encountered is the early 20th century palazzo of the Banca Commerciale Italiana, now home to the art collections of the Galleria d'Italia. Further along, at number 12, stands the 19th century Poldi Pezzoli Museum. Across the street, at number 29, is the Grand Hotel de Milan, where Giuseppe Verdi would one day spend his last hours. And at number 41 is Palazzo Borromeo d'Adda, where Stendhal stayed during his very first visit to Milan. The street ends under the medieval arches of Porta Nuova. In Pellico's day, they would have still been reflected in the waters of the canal, filled in after World War II to make way for the roads now known as Via Fattebene Fratelli and Via Senato. After this brief diversion, Pellico retraces his steps and returns to Palazzo Porro Lambertenghi. The building's architecture, elegant and restrained in its neoclassicism, was designed in the early 19th century by Luigi Canonica, the official architect of the Kingdom of Italy. This is the very first private residence in Milan to be lit by gas. The Marquis Luigi, who lives there, has always had a keen eye for technological innovation. But Pellico isn't the only one to arrive at the door. Stendhal has also just reached the entrance and has been waiting a few moments outside. Before we go any further, let's pause for a little clarification. Unlike Matilde Viscontini from the previous episode, we don't have solid evidence that Stendhal and Silvio Pellico ever actually met. It is possible, of course. In any event, this is how we imagine their encounter.
Bonjour, je suis Henri Bayle. I am expected by His Grace, the Marquis Porro Lambertenghi. Oh, bonjour, monsieur. Have we met? You can call me Stendhal, traveller, writer, lover of beauty, and above all, everything Milanese.
Enchanté. My name is Silvio Pellico, and I tutor the Marquis's children. If I may, I'd like to offer you a copy of our brand new journal, which has just come off the presses today after much hard work. It's called Il Conciliatore. The name says it all. We want to bring people together, to unite, in short, all those who care about truth. That's the only way we can shake Italy from its slumber, by stimulating our readers' minds. It's clear how badly we need to broaden our perspective, to look beyond our borders at what's happening across Europe. We must keep pace with knowledge in every field, or we will remain the remote outpost of an old empire that wants obedient subjects, not active citizens.
I admire your ambition. After all, don't tyrannies survive precisely on lies and intellectual stagnation?
What choice do we have, if not to join forces in a common cause? We want a free Italy, and we're ready to give everything we have to achieve it, even our lives. We can't wait any longer. The time is now.
We've only just met, but I can already say that I admire you, Pellico. Vous êtes un patriote, and you aren't afraid to say it. I'm certain that your efforts will one day be remembered with gratitude.
After spending the morning in the salon at Palazzo Porro Lambertenghi in the company of Silvio Pellico, Stendhal walks off down Via Monte di Pietà, lost in thought and eager to keep on walking. We'll be waiting for you in the next episode of our podcast. Thank you for joining us. See you again in Milan, a couple of centuries back in time. You've been listening to Milan and Stendhal, a double portrait, a podcast created by Artglass and Biblioteca Sormani. The podcast was produced by Artglass as part of the project Archivi, la Milano che non conoscevi in realtà aumentata, co-funded by resources from the European Union, the Italian government, and the Lombardy region, in accordance with Regulation EU 2021/1060, Articles 46, 47, 50, and Annex 9. Script writing, voiceover, music and post-production by Ears. Special thanks to Regione Lombardia and the Milan Public Libraries Network.
Iniziativa realizzata con il contributo del programma FESR, Fondo Europeo di Sviluppo Regionale di Regione Lombardia.